There we go. G'day everyone, it's Dan here, and I'm just hanging out on the river today. It's raining and just hanging out. Thought I'd do a quick little live stream, see if anyone was about, hanging around. I'll hang around for a little while and just do a bit of a tour while we're waiting. G'day everyone, we've got a few joiners here now, so all we're doing today is just hanging out on the river. We've got Steve M. G'day mate, how are you? I'm just chilling today, so I've got a bit more time to be involved with the chat than I normally do. So we've got Vicky. G'day Vicky from Texas. I've got very good friends who live in Texas. Claire Howlett is one of my very good friends. We've got Die for Good here, Jen Frace, Steve M. Everyone's here. Thank you guys for calling in. We're just hanging out on the river today. I thought we'd share the day with you. We've got Charlene, Wesley. G'day guys from Pennsylvania. Very nice. It's a bit wet and miserable here today, but I'm in the Hobie, outdoor influencer. Peggy. Mish, how are you going, darling? How are you going with the lockdown down there? You got Jim, who's down there as well. You poor guys have just gone into, I think, 5 or 7 days down in lockdown, which is a bit sad. The rain looks nice. Yeah, look, it's nice because there's less people on the river. But we got Coopers. Oh, g'day, that's Sam's mate. G'day, how you going? SoFlo USA. I don't know where that is. But anyway, the United States, I know where that is. So I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an update where we are with the whole getting of the cars out of the river thing. Plenty of editing to keep you going. Yeah, look, if you haven't seen Dirtfish Mish's channel, she is absolutely smashing it at the moment. She is doing so well. Her likes and her views are just through the roof. So excellent work, darling. Good work. So one of the things what we try to do on our channel, obviously, is cleaning up the water. And it's not just under the water that's the issue. There's all sorts of stuff on the banks. Oop, just playing with a new gimbal. There we go. So you've got rubbish everywhere. So what I'm going to do today is, that looks like an old little tent thing. I'll drag that out of the water. Underneath the bridge here, we've got shopping trolleys and milk crates and all sorts of junk. So the plan is, I'll try and pick up all this big stuff today. Well, I might be able to do it on the live stream because it's a bit hard doing it one-handed, and I'm out by myself today. Dan, my mate, he let me down, wouldn't come on the river with me. Apparently it's too wet for him, so he's soft as custard, as we say here. But we need to get all this rubbish out because that's disgusting. Look at that. Absolutely disgusting. Look at this place we're at. We're in just an absolutely beautiful river. I might even make my way down to the railway bridge and have a look at the old sandstone bridge. Yeah, slightly getting used to the gimbal. So one of the things I'm looking for in the river is, I think it was 1867, there was a big flood through here, and at the time, and I'll head down to the railway bridge now and we'll have a bit of a sticky beak, what they were doing, there was a quarry up the river. They'd cut the sandstone and put it onto the barges and float it down to the bridge to build the bridge. Big flood came through and actually washed 2 steam engines into the river, and they were never found. Yeah, I have a little motor. I actually just put a new, I'll give you a bit of a rundown what I've got while I'm still kind of out of the rain. So I've got my Hobie, as you guys have seen before, my yellow tandem island Hobie. I got a little 6 horsepower outboard. Just put a new carburetor on it because the carby was stuffed, but my mate Dan gave me that, so that was really appreciated. Got Esky at the back. No one in the back seat today. I've got my little fish finder, which is okay. It shows the depths and things like that, but it's no good for hunting cars. So I'm desperate to try and get myself one of those decent kind of things. We've got Pirate Pete from Queensland. Mate, I absolutely love Queensland. I actually lived in Queensland for a few years there. I think I'm a Queenslander at heart. So absolutely love Queensland. And my favourite place in Queensland is a place called Lawn Hill. if you're ever in Australia and you get a chance to go outback, it's right underneath the Gulf on the border of the Northern Territory and Queensland, and it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful red desert. And then you come to this oasis. I think I've got in one of my, I think I got a Queensland video there that shows a little bit of it, but doesn't really give it justice. Hoping to go back, hoping to come through there in June and actually do some more video and some diving in there. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I like my little Hobie. I've been very blessed to be able to get it. The wife let me buy it, which was very nice. I think she's only been out on it maybe a couple of times, not very often. Got 15 people here. Thank you, guys, for joining me on the reel today. 10 likes, thank you very much. Who else we got here? Charlene, Queenslander here too. Yeah, well, I also want to get up to Caboolture to have a look for Amy. There's a young lass who I think in maybe early 30s. She went missing at the end of January. She's in a white Nissan Patrol and she's just gone completely off the grid. I think the last place they saw her was on the road out to Bribie Island. Now, I've had a look on the maps. There's certainly lots and lots of places for a four-wheel drive to go in the water, and you'd have no idea that it's in there unless you actually stick some sonar. So with all the viewers' support and hopefully getting monetized, we will be able to get some decent sonar, and then I'll go up and head up there for a couple of days and have a bit of a search. We also got another lead down in Tassie. Always looking for an excuse to go to Tassie. Absolutely beautiful down there. Love to catch up with a couple of people down there like Brad. And I wouldn't mind doing some sniping. I think, Mish, you're keen on doing that as well, aren't you, darling? But anyway, sniping looks like a lot of fun. You've got a lot of rules and regulations in New South Wales in regards to what you can and can't do, which is a bit of a hummingbird helix would be nice on that boat. Absolutely. I've spoken to Team Waters about getting one for here. I'm just trying to think how much it was, but it was quite a lot of money. And she was actually quite concerned that there might be some export issues. So we're going to try and maybe find one locally. Who's this? Robbo8169. Is that Robbo? You do a metal, I think you do a metal detecting. I think you're a local Penrith boy, aren't you? Peggy, I've always wanted to go to Australia, but too scared to fly. You can go on a boat, you know. People have been sending boats to Australia for years. We've got Snowy, Olympia, WA, USA. Yeah, speaking to a few people from the States there, they've got some crazy cold weather there at the moment. I think someone said the other day it was like -10 or something. So I'm cold today. I've got my rain jacket on, my oilskin, got my hat, I've got my Binami trying to keep me dry. So look, I'm a bit spoilt today. Oh, yeah. FK Burnham, 10 inches of snow since yesterday. Look, I am quite fond of the snow, I got to say. I used to snowboard every year. That was probably my passion before I got right into scuba diving. But I tore the meniscus in my poor old knee here. And it's never been the same. And I've been too scared to use, to go snowboarding since. So I do miss the snow. It used to be my kind of like retreat and my resetting. Just go down there and rip up the mountain, had lots of fun. But up here in Little Mountain, well, how hot is it in Little Mountain? So 19 people in here, 11 likes. Everyone hit the like button. Yeah, look, there's now 20 I can see. Look, I really appreciate the support. Don't feel any pressure though. I know we always ask, oh, hit the like button, subscribe, you know, support the channel if you can and do all that. And I really do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, this is my hobby. I absolutely quite enjoy doing these little videos, and I'm very blessed to live in a great country and have the opportunity to do all sorts of things. Can you still carry the dive gear to the water after your knee surgery? Absolutely, I'm determined, mate. So I've got a little trolley. I throw a lot of my stuff in as well, so that's not so bad. I do that. Now, I might start the motor up. Tell me if it gets too noisy, guys. Just bear with me, just so I'll get down and show you the old sandstone bridge. Where are we? Here we go. Hang on, I'll spin it around so I can try and... Oh. Come on, baby. Start, baby. You know how I just said I'll put a new bloody carburetor in it? It's a bit hard one-handed. Looks like I'm pedaling. Righto, I'll come back to the motor later on. So anyway, back to the river. So there's lots and lots of things in the river we're still going to get out. There is those 2 steam engines, which no one's found since the late 1800s. That would be a lot of fun. Have we got Art, Hayland? Hey Dan, it's -14 in Canada. We actually have, my wife has family in Canada, in Saskatchewan. So we've got a bit of a link to good old, they're in BC, Saskatchewan, all those kind of places. Never made it over there yet. We were actually planning on doing some overseas travelling maybe this year or next year, but I can't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. So that's on hold at the moment, but I will make it over to Canada one day. It looks absolutely beautiful. Lovely people too, like our family who are in Canada. It'll be -40 over there, and they'd arrive here in Sydney and it'd be 40 plus here. So just a crazy kind of temperature change. And they'd come here and stay here for months, absolutely enjoying Australia. Uncle Chris, absolutely massive part of the family. After his last trip to Australia, he actually had a stroke, which was very sad. And I think he's in a nursing home now, but he's still kicking along. Who have we got here? Yep, lol, not help. Fingers are cold. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was actually quite warm here yesterday. It was like 40 degrees or so. Saskatchewan, it's a lot colder in Saskatchewan, more like -35 yet. Yeah, Alberta, Saskatchewan, all those kind of areas is where my wife's family's from. Righto, back to the river. So, bit of an update with the river. We're still having a bit of a hassle getting the local authorities on board. Now, the really good news is 90% or 99% of people I've spoken to within all the local authorities have been awesome and really think that the project is really valuable and should go ahead. We just got to, dot all the dots, cross all the T's, make sure everything's sweet and happy. At the very worst, what's going to happen is we'll get water police out here and they're going to work with council and the local waterways to remove the vehicles from that boat ramp directly in front of us. There's 4 directly in front and there's at least 3, maybe more off to the left. If the water police come though, that means I'm out. I'm not allowed to actually work in the water with them. So unfortunately I will be only a spectator, which will kind of suck a fair bit actually. But, I respect the law and work with them and absolutely believe in it 100% and will support their decision. There are other vehicles in the river, so that always gives me the opportunity to lift some of those once they're finished their operation. So that's all still up in the air. I think there's a meeting next week down the river between the council, waterways and the police, the local police, to see if an operation can be put together to remove the vehicles, because they've actually decommissioned that boat ramp directly in front of us now. And as a result, we're now getting a lot of swimmers there. And so then that becomes a big issue with entanglement. There's lots of fishing line, as you saw with that Toyota that I was diving on the other day. And it's a real risk now. Council acknowledge that it's a risk and are now working towards getting them removed, either by giving us permission to use their boat ramp, which we don't have at the moment, or by utilising the police in getting a police operation to remove them to make the waterways safer and cleaner. So, and look, at the end of the day, as much as I want to pull them out, it's 100% the best thing is to get them out of the water. At the end of the day, I'm not that proud. Whoever pulls them out doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It really just comes down to getting it out of the water, getting our waterways clean. As I said, I know where there's lots of other cars in the river here, so I will definitely be able to pull some out. We just got to work around that, make sure we don't upset too many people, because they can put a fair bit of pressure on me if they wish to do so. But everyone's been really good. So we've spoken to the Environment Protection Authority. They've given us the green light. Spoken to Department of Primary Industry in regards to fisheries, because there was some concerns that the vehicles might now be classified as a fish habitat. So we don't want to disturb the fish habitat, but we've now confirmed through legislation that vehicles are not considered a fish habitat, and that there is no offence in removing them. And we don't need a permit. All we need to do is notify Waterways, which we've done, and who we're working really closely with. They are absolutely top blokes who I've been speaking to there, really passionate about the waterway and doing the right thing. And that's what it comes down to. We want to actually make sure, artificial reefs. So there's a lot of legislation in regards to artificial reefs. So an artificial reef, if you put an artificial reef in that is made out of wood, then it becomes a home and a habitat for a lot of crustaceans and worms and marine critters like that. So the wood, actually, anything made out of wood is considered a natural habitat. But a vehicle made out of plastic and metal and got oil and fuel in it, no, it's not. So it was one of the little hurdles I had to get over, but we've now proven that that's not the case. So no fisheries have got a problem with us removing them from there, and we don't need it. Like, we've got platypus in this river. So my American friends, do you know what a platypus is? Got Chaos Divers. Hey Jacob, how are you, mate? Hey, it's your birthday today. Hey, everyone say happy birthday to Jacob. How old are you, buddy? Got Tassie Adventures, Brad from Tassie Adventures, mate. I'm itching to get down there and visit you now and do search for this thing. Platypus are amazing. They are crazy. So Jacob, how old are you, mate? Come on, mate. Every Australian doesn't particularly know. Oh, going too fast for me. It's my birthday in Australia, but not here. So we're ahead of you, I think, aren't we? So how old are you, Jacob? You're missing the point, mate. Hey, Dan, great find in Western Colorado. Thank you. He's 38. 38. Oh, to be 38 again. I know I sound like an old man, but, oh well, 38. I went for a real thing when I turned 30. And then 35 came. And then 40 came. And I'm not going to say how old I am now, but I'm older than that. Well, happy birthday, Jacob. Well done, mate. Anya Dan, Pet hates the cars in the river. Go you. Yeah, look, and there's Upper Hunter Valley. One of the viewers has, sounds like he might be able to give me a couple of tips that might be up there in regards to vehicles in the river. And we'll try and get those out as well. Steve Howden. If I mess up your name, I apologise. Oh, did you see the fish? The fish jumped. How about your rig? Does it come complete, or do you make the rig yourself? So the rig, I'll stand up and show you. Good thing about this, we have modified it, yes. So when you buy the rig, it's called the Hobie Island Tandem. So you've got, just trying to drive. You've got these side pontoons, you've got the centre kayak with the 2 seats. I've added the bimini so I don't get as wet. I've kind of set this up obviously for diving because that's my kind of passion, but I also spend a bit of time on the river, kayaking and so forth. So we've got our esky. That's probably the most important bit of gear that I've got on here is my esky. I've got to have plenty of refreshments there. We've got Dan who's given me a 6 horsepower little motor, and I just put a new carburetor on that. We've got a little fuel tank and a little fish finder, but obviously not good enough. Now these wooden platforms, I've actually put them on there, but normally they are like a hammock that sit in there. Yeah, it's probably overkill the motor. I've actually got it's only a 6. I've got a 15 horsepower that's brand new that I've lent to some other friends along with my little tinny. And but that's too big for this, and you need licenses and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, back in the river, we go down the river. So while I'm looking at the chat, throw in any questions you've got for me. Got outdoor influencer, young Jeff over there. Brad from Tassie Adventure. Steve Howden. Didn't know the motor before. Always saw you paddle. Yeah, well, the motor was broken, so I couldn't use it. Overkill? What? Inflatable with a Hawk's power. 6. Yeah, but I think have you got the same boat as Jared? Jacob? I'm sure all of you know who Jared is from Adventures with Purpose in the States there. He's been a great support of mine over the last 2 years and has given me lots of great advice. He sent over the lift bags so we could work. Yes, the Scout. Look, obviously, inflatable is going to be a lot lighter than this. I'm nowhere near my car, so I can't show you, but I've just rigged up a system to put it on the roof so I can still take the caravan when we go up north, and the Hobie. I've done it before, but I had to lift it up by hand. It's very heavy, so I'll put a little winch on the roof now. Tarina Tyler, g'day. Mish, putting little links in there. Good on you, darling. You're so efficient. I wouldn't even know how to do that, by the way, but thank you very much for the moderators. Really appreciate that. I don't know if you can see off in the distance there. Actually, will it let me? Oh, look at that. I can do that. Didn't know I could do that. Or off in the distance there, we've got a new foot pedestrian bridge that they built a couple of years ago. You've got Kelly Wright, g'day darling. Which one of your friends has the boat like that? So Dan, the other Dan, who's on the river with me. Got Isabel from Canada, g'day. So my mate Dan, he actually had his first. He brought his brand new. Oh, did I make that dirty? He brought his brand new. I got mine secondhand. Well, secondhand. How are you doing with the watch hours? Last time I checked, we only had like 480 to go, but that was before I put the little bike riding one up the other day. I don't know if I got a lot of nice positive comments about that little video, but I don't know if you guys like those kind of things or not. I do a lot of running around doing all different types of things, so as much as I love diving, I'd like to share a bit more of my country with you, especially those who are trapped and can't move out. So it's a nice peaceful day on the river here today. Why is there no gators? So in Sydney, the water's too cold, way too cold. It's 78.5 degrees Fahrenheit is the water at the moment. That's way too cold for crocodiles. We have 2 types of crocodiles in Australia. We have the salties, which are the saltwater crocodiles, the estuary crocodiles, and they will eat you quite happily. You've also got what's called the Johnson crocodile, which is a little freshwater one. They're actually beautiful, absolutely gorgeous little crocodile, and they'll have a crack at you, but that's only if you annoy them, if you get too close. So you got to stick away from them. Try not to annoy them too much, otherwise they will bite you. They eat fish, and that's all, but they've got really sharp teeth. So there are certainly people who have been bitten by freshwater crocodiles, but they're not known for their kind of their nastiness. They're more scared of us, to be perfectly honest. And earlier I was talking about a place called Lorna Hill up in the north of Queensland, and it's probably my favourite place to go camping, and there are freshwater crocodiles in there. As soon as you get close to the coast, that's when the salties are there, and the salties aren't very friendly, so we just leave them alone and we don't go looking in those waters. I have actually started looking at some shark shields, and it'd be interesting to see if there's a product out there, if anyone knows, if there is a shield that does both crocodiles and does sharks, because there's one particular place I am desperate to dive. The water's really muddy, but where it is, it's a place called Paranella Park. I've done a video on it. It's a gorgeous place, big waterfall, very nice. What they used to do is throw old coins for luck into the water there, and there was a dive platform and they used to swim. But after the last big cyclone, 2 crocodiles moved in. So it's not really safe enough to go diving, unfortunately. But if I had a shield, maybe that might help me. Where are we here today? So I'm down on my local river, the Nepean River, at Penrith here. Heading north. Oh, we got some more kayakers rolling past. Let's be friendly and say hello. G'day, how you going? Good, enjoying the day? Yeah, I'm very lucky. Bit overkill, but yeah, it's so stable. Like I can stand up on here, I can dive off it, everything. Super stable. Alright, ladies, enjoy your row. So what are we else? I can't wait for AWP to come down under. I know, Kelly, I know what you're saying, darling. Jared was meant to come down last year to get these cars out of the river here. But that's when he did his first tour. Because of COVID, he couldn't come over here. So unfortunately, Jared was unable to. I know he's itching. He's going to bring his wife and his kids and everyone down here. Rightio, let me get back in my seat. What else is everyone doing today? It's Saturday. It's Saturday here today. What are you guys doing? Are you in Eastern Australia? Yes. Eastern Australia. So I'm west of Sydney. Good old Sydney. Not the whole country thin. I don't know what you mean. I'm at the editing desk, Dan, and clearly not editing right now. Yeah. As I said, check out Mish's work. She is doing so well. Mate, I'm a little bit green with envy how well you're doing, but, you know, it's well deserved. I haven't watched all that last video that you did with Bush Kid or something. What was his name? You want to put in there, Mish? Put a link to your video for that, your last one. I was editing a video for Turtle Bio. Now, you guys have got the snapping turtles, is that right, over there? Spiders massive in Australia. Absolutely, they're massive. We've actually got a bit of a plague at the moment. Not that I want to deter my American friends from visiting, but we've got what's called orb spiders at the moment, and they're everywhere in our backyard. Every time I go out to the pool or down out to the clothesline, you get a face full of web, and they're big spiders, they're big chunky spiders. I've never been bitten by one, but I reckon they would hurt. We do, but Turtle Bro, oh, missed it. South Sydney area, yeah, snapping turtles. We basically, in Sydney here, we've got the eastern long neck turtle. That's the most common turtle that we've got here. Once you get to the water, then obviously you get your marine turtles, your green turtles and your hawksbill turtles and all those kind of things. Got a couple of little videos there with some turtles. It has an orb spider in it, actually. Oh, excellent. Yeah, the spider webs these orb spiders are doing in my backyard at the moment are absolutely huge. I haven't made it over the ditch to New Zealand yet. I will one day. I'd love to. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm not skirmish with spiders, but they're not my favourite creature. I understand their importance in the ecosystem, eating bugs and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, especially when you walk at night and you get one on your face, that's not fun. I did get tagged by a whitetail once, and I was a bit scared I was going to have my arm right off, but I was lucky enough that it healed up. They've got a type of venom that rots your skin. Yeah, most unpleasant. Is it true that Australian spiders, huntsman spiders, in a bathroom kills bad spiders. Ooh, I've never heard of that one. We do get huntsman spiders. There's a particular, out at my property, we get really big ones, but there's a particular there called a prasad huntsman, and they jump at you. They're horrible bloody things. But a spider would cause me to walk on water. We actually, in the Blue Mountains where I'm from, we get what's called the Sydney funnel web. It's the most deadly spider in the world, as far as I understand, and we get them in our pool all the time. And the big females, they're a bit cranky, and they can live underwater for several days. So you get the pool scoop out and scoop them out, and there's actually a mob. There's an Australian reptile park up at Gosford there, and you can take your funnel web spiders too, and they'll milk them to get the anti-venom out of them. If you're ever in Sydney and you're heading up the coast, up the Gosford, make sure you call into the Australian reptile park. It's absolute little cracker. We have got a new zoo here in Sydney, Sydney Zoo or something or other, down at Blacktown there. I haven't actually been to it yet though, so I don't really know what it's like. You can keep those funnel webs. Yeah, you wouldn't get them down there, would you, Mish? But we certainly get plenty of them in the Blue Mountains. Jacob, did you... Whoa, too fast. Yeah, I'm sure there would be videos there on people milking funnel webs. Have a bit of a look if you're interested. They're very interesting. Obviously, we milk snakes all the time and get their venom out that way, but to see a spider actually drained of its anti-venom is pretty cool. We have the Tasmanian funnel webs. Oh, that's interesting, Brad. I didn't know you had them down there. I would have thought it'd be too cold down there for them. Do you have venomous water snakes? The most common snake that you'll see on the river is called the red belly black snake. You'll see them swimming through the river all the time, and yeah, they are venomous, but on the scale of venom in Australia, yeah, and they're scaredy cats. They'll run away, well, slither away from you rather than try and attack you. The only time they'll ever really have a tag at you is if you try and pick them up, and they're too fast. I can't pick them up. We get tiger snakes out at our property. They're fairly up there as far as bad snakes go. Have I been to Australia Zoo? Steve Irwin's Australia Zoo. I tell you what, and it's not just because I'm a fan, but that zoo is the prettiest, neatest, nicest zoo you will ever go to, as far in Australia anyway. It is absolutely beautiful what the Irwins have done with that, keeping Steve's legacy. See, it obviously has been an influence on mine and my family's life, and as most people who enjoy the wildlife have. A lot of people didn't like him because he was a bit out there, but he was passionate, mate, and I tell you what, can't beat passion. There are animals so dangerous. Oh, look, you're more likely to get hurt by someone than an animal. And it's only really if you're silly with them that you're in any kind of risk. You're more likely to get stung by a bindi. You know what a bindi is, anyone? Daddy longlegs are not dangerous. It's an urgent... wow, there was a report though that the daddy longlegs in Australia actually had bred with redbacks. Redbacks being highly toxic, and just with allowing them to have bigger pincers and injure you. No, Steve's daughter. I missed the first part of that. She hasn't had a baby yet, but I think it's soon. She's married one of your American boys. What about kangaroos? Do you have them where we live? Yeah, we actually, in my job, if those who haven't worked out what I do, I'm actually called to euthanize kangaroos all the time because they get hit on the road, which is really sad. So we get called out and we have to put them down, which breaks my heart, because what happens is when they break their legs, they've got really tight ligaments and you just can't help them. And it's very unlikely that they're going to survive, and they get shock and all that kind of stuff. So we get a couple of different types of kangaroos around here. We get the eastern grey. We also get little rock wallabies. You get further north and west you go, you'll get different varieties. Like you'll get the big reds in the centre. You'll get the what's called a pretty face kangaroo or wallaby. When you get further, oh, it's further down here. I want a box of roo. Mate, I reckon you'd come off worse for it, don't worry. Those big reds up there. What kind of job do you do? I'll get a lot of hate if I tell you what job I do. Most people don't like what I do. I'll give you a hint though. I wear blue, I carry a firearm, and I go ee-or, 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 or something like that, or whoop whoop. Don't hate me too much. I'm out serving my community. We don't get a lot of love, but they're quite happy to call us. Big reds are no joke. Absolutely, they like up to 6 foot tall. Those things, and they're nothing but muscle and brawn. Got Rosie, hey darling. Pizza delivery, I guess. Yes, that must be what I do, considering how much pizza I eat. Roo meat taste. I've never eaten roo meat, and I've never eaten crocodile. Yeah, I've got no interest in that, thank you. Yeah, I've been doing that job for 10 years now. I'm currently doing a job where I'm teaching road safety to primary school age kids. So I get to tell them all scary stories about using the road safely and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, a roo probably would break your jaw, especially after your surgery. You don't want to do that. If you didn't know, Jacob had some surgery on his face the other day. Oh, geez, that was a couple of weeks ago now. Oh, I might see if I can get this motor going again, because as fun as it is paddling, it would be nicer if I could get it. Oh, maybe I have to pump this. That might help. Pumpy, pumpy, pumpy the fuel bowl. Let's see if that works. Oh, I'm going to put the phone down, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. Gimbal's going off. Oh. There we go, hang on. There we go, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Where are we? Oh, must have made the screen dirty. So now I'm going to cheat. Can you guys still hear me, or is the motor too loud? Motor volume is fine, by the way. Thank you very much. Great to know. Saves me paddling. Shall I show you how fast it goes? Hang on, I'll turn it around. Actually. Get caught speeding. It's actually a bit hard. I've got a rudder at the back, and the waterways are on the water today. I think I'll just chug along. Rains are getting a bit heavier. I'd like to show you the old bridge, if I can get down there quick enough for you guys to hang around. 6 knots, I think, is as fast as you can go on the water. Motor's not sounding real good. Uh-oh. Oh, looks like I'm back to paddling. Or pedaling, I should say, because yeah, rain's starting to come in. No, I wouldn't want to break the law, would I? I'm already getting enough trouble for pulling these cars out of the water. But anyway, that's my problem. Ooh, you hear the black cocky? Or maybe it was just a water bird. Turn the fuel on. I did turn the fuel on, I think. Yeah, it's got full fuel. As I said, I just put a new carby in it, so I haven't had a real good chance to play around with it too much. Yeah, it's nice and peaceful in the rain. The water's only, what, 10 feet deep here. Oh, where are we? Oh, there we go. 10 feet, so it's not very deep here. We've got a weir that is, oh, sorry about the gimbal guys, down near this bridge down here. Nothing natural about a car in the water. Yeah, I know. Yes, it has an external tank. Yes, I did pump it to pressurise it. It's more that I have to adjust the fuel mix. The main fuel mix is out. So after I finish the live stream, I'll play with it. So Janice from Oz, we're still working on that. The cars are at the stage where we're just trying not to upset too many people by doing it and follow all the rules. So basically the Environment Protection Authority says, yep, no worries. The Department of Primary Industries have said, yep, no worries. The Safe Work New South Wales have said, yep, no worries. Who are we waiting on? Well, Waterways have agreed in principle, but I'm still waiting to get a final confirmation from them. And once I get Waterways kind of go ahead, then I hope to have councils final go ahead. Because at the moment they own the boat ramp, and I can't use the boat ramp unless they say yes. So at the very worst, council will work with the police and the waterways, and the police are the ones who will remove them from the water, which at the end of the day is the best thing. As long as they get out of the water, someone gets them out of the water, that's what we want. I'd rather do it, but you know, can't win them all. In Australia, we have an agency pretty much for everything. Yep, we certainly do. I am trying to please them all. As I said, I am a bit of a law follower. It's kind of my career, so I can't really have double standards and just do whatever the hell I like. I've got to follow it. And look, everyone that I've spoken to from all the departments, 99% of them have been wonderful. They believe their project is a great idea. They want to do it. It's just about covering one's ass. Unfortunately, Australia has got a bit like that. What happened to the motor? Oh, I don't know. I'll fiddle around with it when I turn the live stream off. I've still got a bit of time. My daughter has just started a new job on the paddle steamer that goes up the river, so I'm waiting for her to have her break on her first day. So you would have seen the P&B Bell paddle steamer on one of my videos. My daughter's got a job there now. So I'm very excited for her. She's worked a couple of other little jobs before, but she just finished year 12, so she's going to start nursing shortly. This will be a nice little job in the meantime. So we're getting closer to the old sandstone railway bridge. There's actually used to be a barge right down here that you see, the only way across the river before the bridges were made. And the night art, later, that's right. The old barge. So there's apparently still the wooden posts for where it used to get. Whoa, look at that fish jump. Did you see that? Oh, there he goes. What a cracker. Anyone tell me what type of fish that was? Because I got no idea. Still got 38 people watching. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's raining. Getting heavier, actually. Flying fish. Yes, no, not a flying fish. Maybe a mullet would be my guess. I think they jump. Chaos divers, you'd know. We have European carp here. It's actually illegal to throw them back in. Yeah, well, I do like the rain, but the problem is the forecast is for all week. So that's going to make this week a little bit miserable. I was hoping to get that motorbike out of the creek that I found this week once I fix my winch. $19 in Melbourne. Yeah, I don't know what temperature it is here, but I've got a jacket on. It's the first time I've had a jacket on for some time. Yeah, we got bass in here, freshwater perch. You've got bass, perch. You've got trout. You've got rainbow and brown trout. Sea mullet are great eating. My wife hates the smell of fish, so we don't have a lot of fish in our house. Kelly, happy birthday for 2 days ago. I've got a friend who makes fishing lures, Jacob. His company is called Dreamfish. Check him out. He makes lots of lures like you do. Those who don't, I'm sure most of you do know, but those who don't know Jacob's work, he's got this museum of fishing lures. It is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. One day I hope to get over there and have a look. Yeah, Dreamfish, Jacob. Rod is his name. Catch any good crab or lobster in your area? Not in my area. We're about an hour from the coastline. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I've got a joke about that. Who can tell me how do you get rid of crabs? What you do is you put river stones in the bottom of the bath, fill it up with water, lay in the bath and let the water out. Then they think it's low tide and they jump off. Sorry, inappropriate. When I lived in Queensland, we used to go around Moreton Island and Coochie-Mudlow Island, and we used to go crabbing out there and get lots of blue swimmers. And I remember being a kid and Dad came back one night really late with a Hessian bag, and he says, "Daniel, don't go and open that bag, there's a crocodile in it." So I went, "Oh yeah, righto, not going to go open that." So middle of the night, what does Daniel go and do? That's right, goes and opens a Hessian bag to look at this crocodile. It ends up being just a big fat mud crab, and it was running around the little unit we were staying in, chasing us all. Cooked it up in a nice big pot. Dan N. Is that Dan the Nixon? If that is Nixon, mate, you could have been on the water. Could have been here. Too wet, he said. Your jokes are funnier than Jared's. Oh, I wouldn't think they were that. I don't think so. 37 people, 38 likes. Gotta love that. Thank you, everyone. Great muddies up here. Look, mud crabs are an absolute beautiful crab as far as eating goes. No, different Dan N. Well, welcome, just the same. You come here, Dan, and you will have the best hotel we have around here, brother. Mate, I'm happy with a caravan or a tent. I don't need anything fancy, mate. Coles has lobster tail for $6.75 each. They probably do. When I was courting my wife as a young man, I used to take her to what's called Centrepoint Tower, which is the big pointy tower in the middle of Sydney. And they used to have a revolving restaurant that was to go around and around the top of the lookout. And that was my treat. We'd do that every now and then and I'd get a lobster. Big treat. Can't afford to do that now. Valentine's Day tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day, honey. I probably should go get you something. No lobster that I have seen here. When I was up at the Tweed River, there was a whole heap of little lobsters that I saw, but they were only maybe 6 or 7 inches. So, and I'd never actually seen them there before. I brought 3. They pre-cooked or you got to cook them up? Live lobster pity. They don't agree with me. Love lobster, yeah. So we're just going down to the old Railway Bridge and the new pedestrian bridge that they just put over. So we have here what's called the River Walk. So you walk basically from that, across the river, all the way up one side, over where the freeway is and back around. I probably should do that one day. Yes, wish Jacob happy birthday if no one has already. You need to cook them up. Okay. Yeah, look, we're spoiled for choice for walking around here. We've got the river walk. We've got so many bushwalks up the mountains. I've started to record a couple of them for you, but now I've got this gimbal. I should be able to do a better job of actually recording it. Well, we've been yakking for nearly an hour, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Hope you guys are enjoying the day on the river. Look at some of these houses. So we're getting down to where the private houses are. There's some big houses along here. Yeah, the problem is when you get distractions, Mish, then you don't get your editing done. So if you see the sandstone pillars on the railway bridge behind the orange pedestrian bridge there, that's what the sandstone was used from the quarry further up the river there. And that's where the steam engines, the 2 steam engines were washed in to the river here in the 1800s, 1867 I think it was. Never found, so got to get me some decent sonar so I can find them. My poor little sad little fish finder here, where is it? There it is. Just doesn't quite cut the deal. The problem with the down scan is you've got to be directly over the top of it, and as you can see from those, it's cold here in North Carolina. I reckon it would be. One of the guys from work is from South Carolina. He's ex-US Marine. Very cool guy. I think he was in 3 helicopter crashes. Crazy, crazy guy. Can kill you by just looking at you. Pretty well divided by class? Ooh, yes and no. So the area that I work from is from what's called Erskine Park, all to the foot of the mountains, all the way out to Warragamba, which is a big, diverse group of people. We have the very, very poor and we have the very, very rich. So you'll have the junkies, you'll have the normal, good working class people. We have quite a variety. And I don't know that, well, maybe we do get separated a little bit, but I'm not really sure what I would be classified as. A little bit bogan, maybe. That is a cracker of a house. I think that would be bull sharks or too far downriver. Yeah, we've got a weir on the other side of those bridges there, which means the bull sharks can't come up. Further down, which is where it joins into the Hawkesbury River, yeah, there's plenty of bull sharks down there. I dove, the first time I ever dove with Michael Oliver was down in where there were bull sharks, looking for some bloke's golden bracelet that he lost, jet skiing. Didn't find it, still in there, and it was like, 15 grand's worth. Sunk straight to the bottom. So a little bit down here near the footbridge there on the right hand side we used to have a restaurant and a pub there called the Log Cabin. It was actually where my wife and I had our wedding reception, and it burnt down a few years ago, and they've just got approval now to start developing it and rebuilding it. So the locals who know the Log Cabin, it's coming back. Can't wait. Should be good. Hopefully it won't burn down this time. What I'm going to do, if you guys have any other questions for me, because I'm almost at the bridge, I'll show you the pillars on the bridge, and then I might try and get this motor going and head back. Outdoor treasures. G'day. Watching Daniel Andrews before he was rubbing his hands. He always does when he's nervous. I need dog food. Yep. I need to get dog food for me too. How are we? We're on the river, mate. Couldn't be better. Although my knee is starting to get a little bit sore from this paddling. So we're just coming up to the footbridge. That's that orangey browny structure thing going on there. I hope the motor works for the return trip too, to be honest. My bum's gone numb, I can't feel it. So the beautiful sandstone pilings there. If I don't get the motor started, then I've got to pedal all the way back. That's okay. Sometimes foster carer. My sister's a foster carer. She's got 3 boys she's looking after. Say hello to the ducks. Can you see the ducks? Where are they? A couple little water birds and ducks. Oh. If you're watching, easy to walk, get the car. Sitting too long, sitting way too long. Train over the bridge. Some more interesting houses along the river. Oh, foster care for animals. Fair enough. I sometimes feel like I've got a zoo. Ooh, I'm hitting weed. Too shallow. That's not good. Let's go a bit further into the, I don't know if you guys can see it. So the weed, so we're actually, how deep are we? So we're 10 feet deep, but the weed's to the top of the water. So there's 10 feet of weed. That's not fun. Certainly not fun to dive in. That's the worst part about, apart from the lack of visibility, but one of the hardest parts about the river, diving in the river, is the weed. It's very shallow here, so, and the water's warm, so it grows really well. Next up on debut, let's pull this Hobie out of the weeds. Yep. Oh, I really wanted to show you guys these pillars, but it's a long bloody way down. I have a Dane and a Lab. I have 2 bearded collies, and my daughter's boyfriend's brought his dog along for, who's a, what is it? Blue heeler. So we got 3 dogs at our place at the moment. We've got birds and nothing in my fish tank at the moment. We've got our sheep and our alpacas out the property, which I really should be out there doing work with. I cut all the paddocks ready to cut the hay the other week, cut it all, and then my hay baler broke. So my paddock's pretty much ruined. It's a bit sad for me, but that's life. So they're beautiful sandstone pillars there. They were, the stone was cut up at the quarry further up the river. They floated on the barge all the way down here, and they've built the bridge. And as I said to you guys earlier, if you missed it, this is where the steam, well, further up the river is where the steam engines were washed in, but they were never found. So once we get some decent sonar gear, we're gonna go and do that. Look for those. Wouldn't they be cool to find out? Do you have a permit to pull the steam engines out? Well, let's find them first, then we'll cross that bridge. Righto guys, everyone, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to put the camera away and I'm going to try and get this motor going. That's a bit of hard work. Hard work for me anyway. Righto everyone, thanks for the support of the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's really nice to actually have a bit of time and answer a few questions. Had a blue heeler, took him fishing. Was the Lab meth? No. Yeah, so I've got bearded collies. Righto guys, I get easy distracted just like you, Jacob. Squirrel moment. Righto everyone, thank you very much. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.